Report. All right, joining us now via Skype to talk about the unrest in her city is the mayor of Compton, Asia Brown. Good morning, Mayor. Thank you so much for joining us so early in the morning.
Good morning, Giselle. Great to be here with you all, and Melvin.
Good to see you.
So, Mayor, you wrote an impassioned Instagram post where you basically said enough is enough, that this murder of George Floyd is a tipping point. Can you share where we are in this nation and in this city from your perspective?
I believe we have a human rights calamity on our hands, and I believe it's not just a Black issue. It's a human issue. It's an American issue. People are feeling what African Americans have felt for the past 400 years. African American men have been targeted. They're living in terror. Even in front of our children, there's this fear that looms over us, and it's time for change. We can't be this progressive nation. We can't fight for everyone else's rights, and we do not address the continual destruction and the hunting of Black people in this nation.
One of the things that you are known for, your personal ethos, is this sense of being hopeful, and it moves over into your style of leadership. So in the midst of all this morning, you know, for all the folks that are out there, Black folks that are like, how do I have hope? How do I do that? How do they do that? What is your message this morning? How do we remain hopeful?
Black people are resilient. We have been through atrocities that have not been experienced by any other people, and we're still here. And so we know how to get over and get through, but this is a time where we're tired of being strong. We're tired of continuing to translate for everyone else how this feels. And it's just time for everyone to get involved, to no longer accept this, and to continue to pass the message to our children that we are human. We deserve rights. We deserve to be protected, loved, honored, and cherished, and not just for our art or our culture, but for our humanity.
Mayor, you are also known for really rebranding Compton, where others saw just crime and violence and a throwaway community. You looked at it as this shining opportunity on a hill, and you have infused opportunity there through jobs and bringing businesses and understanding the economic engine of your community. What does our national and state leadership need to do to follow with some of your protocols that seem to be working?
I think there's such a huge opportunity to reinvest in communities that have been forgotten. There's so much power, there's so much culture, there's purchasing power within our communities, and we deserve the same patronage that other communities receive. And I've been in the economic development field for over 15 years, and having national retailers tell me that your people will come to me just gave me the driving force to reinvest in my community. And there's such a huge opportunity to do that within communities of color across this nation.
And then what about specifically, you know, in your community now in Compton, how are your peeps doing? And are you strategically, in communication with the front line and with folks there to figure out a solution? Because so much of this, Mayor, is process and really deciding who's at the table to have the conversation.
The Compton community is alive and well and thriving. I'm so proud of this new generation of leaders that have really stepped up. And we have our original front line, those that have worked with us on gang intervention, they've checked in. We have our One Compton activists. So many, the committee, One Compton is a great initiative with African Americans and Latinos that have come together to provide unity for our community. So we are all in constant communication, and we're focusing on how we can keep Compton safe, to keep it peaceful, and to make sure that we get through this challenging time and offer our support to other communities that are impacted as well.
Mayor, you called this a tipping point, and I've heard others say it as well. A tipping point to what? We have seen, you know, Black men gunned down and police officers not prosecuted again and again since Rodney King and before, hundreds of years of history. So when we look at really trying to find solutions and being part of the change on this Black Tuesday for systemic racism, you know, Mel said yesterday so beautifully, or the day before, Martin Luther King's quote, that protests are the language of the unheard. So what's the tipping point? How do we attack real solutions to something that's so systemic that needs to be addressed in a real way, not just hyperbole?
We need justice for those that were a part of George Floyd's murder. We need just full sweeping reforms throughout law enforcement. We need Congress and Senate to act to ensure that the Constitution is enforced and applied equally to all people. We need insurance companies to step up and stop continuing to insure these police forces that are just hunting and systematically annihilating Black people. It's just there needs to be a change, and we are in the whole global pandemic, and America is at a standstill, and people are paying attention. Social media is ablaze with what's happening, and no one can continue to be busy with life and turn a blind eye to what's happening to Americans in this country.
And you mentioned social media before we let you go. Today's Blackout Tuesday, and do you feel like this is a gateway to the movement, to the Black Lives Matter movement, to the suffrage movement, is to get the message out there on social media and to stop, business practices?
Oh, absolutely. It's all hands on deck, Melvin. It is time for change. To be able to have an economic impact is just the beginning. And I know that there are ways to organize moving forward from this, but this is definitely one step in the right direction.
Thank you very much, Mayor
Brown. You're such a prolific voice at this time. Thank you so much for your calm sense and always language of hopefulness. Really
absolutely.
Appreciate
Infectious.
it. Yeah, wonderful. All right, we'll be back. Stay with us.
Spectrum News is brought to you by Silver Star Cadillac. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be of service.
This little light of mine.
In the world's poorest places, children with clefts live in darkness and shame. They're shunned, outcast, living in pain. You can reach out and change the life of a suffering child right now. Call Operation Smile. For only 65 cents a day, just $20 a month, you'll help volunteer surgeons and nurses provide free surgeries to waiting children. You'll give a child a chance to smile, to come out of the shadows and shine. Please call now. Thousands of children are waiting for surgery, living lives of isolation and loneliness, waiting for someone to help them, someone like you. A surgery that takes as little as 45 minutes, and your act of love can change a child's life forever.
Real people are realizing there's a better way to mobile.
My carrier probably has a lot of fees I don't even know are there. Basic phone line access, federal universal service charge, I don't even know what that is.